Taking a breath from the color theory intensive curriculum videos, we're actually going to be trying pretty much a full face of new makeup today. I have so much amazing stuff. Honestly, I'm not going to be able to get it all in one face of makeup today, but here's a little sampling. We're actually going to talk in depth about the new Charlotte Tilbury Sheer Glow Tint Hydrating Foundation Stick. This will actually be a first impression. These are the new Anastasia Blurring Serum Blushes. I got 3 shades in this. I bought these. Victoria Beckham Beauty was kind enough to send over a bunch of stuff. So it is 2 of the new eyebrow gels and a new eyebrow pencil. I have all the new lippies from Lisa Eldridge. She was kind enough to send these over. I don't know if this is gonna make it onto my eyes. This might be a lot, but I have the new Byredo palette. This is Desert Rose. I bought this when I was in the city a couple weeks ago. These are each the new lightest shades in the LYS bronzer and the Makeup by Mario bronzer stick. I also picked up one of the new lip oil balms from Clarins. This is the beige shade. It was the only one that I was really interested in. And Sweed Beauty sent some stuff over. They actually did a collab with Lydia Millen recently, who I love. Have been watching her for years. So these might make their way onto my lips at some point, but these colors are bananas. They're so pretty. I have about as much idea how this is going to go as you do right now, so let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so I got 2 shades in the new Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I'm gonna actually swatch both of them for y'all because I could use this as a highlight ostensibly. Whoa, I didn't realize it was replaceable. That's fun. It just popped open. I was a little too aggressive. So this is 1, which is fair, and that is gonna be a really beautiful highlight for me. And then I have 1.5 fair, which is just a little bit more, honestly, saturated, right? This is just so pale, it's like silver. And this might even have the same undertone, it's just a little bit more saturated, like the color's just a little bit more visible. It's gonna look more like a complexion shade on that shade on me. That one's going to look like I covered my face in highlighter. Hindash got these ahead of time and he was telling me about them and he was like, I really like them. He was talking about how sometimes the Flawless Filter, the liquid version, can kind of like ball up and disagree with other products, and that this one is just so much easier to work with various different products on the skin, and it like layers more easily and stuff. And so I was very keen to pick them up when they got on the market, and I'm glad that I did because it's not something that I think I would typically have gone for, just knowing that it was going to be like pretty much a highlighter stick. But when you put this on and it goes really nice and sheer, then you can concentrate all of your efforts on coverage where you want it, kind of thing. And it comes off just so natural. I think that it's a really nice enhancing, lit from within, as we say, type thing, but it's not doing much to actually cover my skin. It's just blurring and pretty. I actually think it looks better on me than the Flawless Filter does. The Flawless Filter is a little bit thick for me. Something that I've been doing lately is actually leaving concealer off of my under eyes. It's funny because like I put concealer on under my eyes because I'm like, well, that's what concealer's for, right? That's what we always talk about concealer being for, is to like disguise our under eye bags and darkness and stuff like that. But it's also kind of such a dead giveaway of wearing concealer to me that like disguising my blemishes with concealer, even if it's high coverage, isn't that detectable, but leaving it off my under eyes, I'll show you. I also just did like a treatment on this spot on my face, so that's why it's all red. After this video, after I film this video, I'm going to go wash all my brushes and all of my sponges. It is time. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of tools, and so I can get away with not washing them very often, but today's the day. That also means that it's more daunting of a task when it does roll around because there's just so many. This is the Hourglass concealer. It just looks like skin on me, and it's such a good shade match. They sent me this one. I'm not sure I would have picked this shade for myself, Silk, because it does seem like it's gonna be too dark, but the fact is it's exactly my skin tone match instead of a brightening concealer kind of color. So look, I leave that off my under eyes and it's like just so much less made up looking. I'm kind of into it. I don't know. We'll see. Like when Violette does her makeup, she's like, leave it off of your nose because your nose is a dead giveaway. I think that the under eyes for me, it's like different for everybody's face. It's kind of funny to embrace something that you've seen as a flaw in order to feel like you look more like yourself. Especially because, you know, as you age, your under eyes show makeup so much more. Like they're just more sensitive to things settling and getting crepey, and it's like, okay. Oh, Angel. Hello. Sorry about that. Just had to take an urgent phone call for about 2 hours, but look how beautiful this looks. Why is my ear red? The world may never know. Look how pretty my complexion looks. No powder or anything. And it just got a chance to warm to my skin and all joined together. You almost wouldn't know I'm wearing makeup, except that I'm a little bit iridescent, but still, ooh, I love that. And that's just a little bit of foundation and concealer, which I am reminding myself because I actually have been gone for 2 hours. It was no time for you at all. So the only thing, like I said, that is a first impression today are these blushes that I got from ABH. I don't think that they're rebranding because their package on the outside still says Anastasia Beverly Hills, but they say ABH on them like this. And wow, I expected them to be bigger. This is 0.32 fluid ounces, which, you know, it's fine. They're like 25 bucks, but like that is some drugstore looking ass packaging, y'all. Essence, NYX, even Maybelline, you know? Love that though, love that. They're smart enough that when they put the listing online, hello, they showed it open because like what a cool applicator. So let me at least swatch these. Whoa, that is not a drugstore formula. It's a really interesting formula. So Jamie of Makeup on Your Radar, oh my God, these are awesome. Loves to keep me informed of all the new releases that she's finding out about. Sometimes she can't post things because they're copyright claimed or whatever. Like she's not allowed to use the photos, but she'll send them to me privately and it's always just really exciting. And she sent me a photo of these YSL blushes that they're gonna come out with in the fall, I think, that are the most bananas colors I've ever seen. And I'm so excited because it looks like something that's actually new. And then there's also these liquid blushes that are coming out from Hourglass that are in the same container as that like powder liquid stuff, the mattifying stuff that Danessa Myricks put out a little while ago. And I'm just immensely curious, especially because like, I'm just glad we're moving past a sponge tip applicator being the viral component that everyone is using to make sure that they sell their makeup, you know? Either way, whoa! Whoa, those are some colors. For some reason, I thought that this was the packaging and this was the product. This is the packaging and this is the product. You can see that when you compare them to each other. Ledoy. But yeah, those colors are really cool. We got peach, we got baby pink, and we got plum. They didn't really go way out of bounds with the names here, which is great. I'm not mad about that at all. I do think we have to go in this purple plum territory. Y'all have seen me use peach so much. It's because I really like it, but there's no reason for me to demonstrate the peach color today. We gotta go a little bit outside my comfort zone here. So I'm actually gonna start. We have to do the contour stylus. Darn it. That's the next thing, and probably bronzer too. I just like skipped over all that because I was really excited. I think that my contour stylus is like, yeah, it's already coming out. Don't do that. So this is the contour stylus from Victoria Beckham. And I'm gonna do like little strokes like this, make them a little easier to blend. This is a funny little thing. It's like based on apparently a now defunct Burberry product that everybody really liked. And Burberry, they're coming back. They're gonna be putting out, according to Jamie, thank you Jamie, everyone go follow her, tinted lip balms just like everybody else is right now, which I'm on board for, who cares? And so Burberry I think is trying to make a little bit more of a makeup comeback, but I don't know if it's gonna be like a US comeback, might just be like a Britain kind of thing, but that's what this was kind of meant to imitate. You know, because you don't usually see contours in that kind of delivery system in like a teeny tiny little pencil. The only reason that I don't really like it, and it's not that one, it's just like I don't really like the delivery system, is because anything that I, especially from a contour standpoint, wipe onto my face and then blend, I am really relying on my own memory a little too hard about where I put the contour to go back and then blend it. It is just so often that I end up looking at myself in the mirror after I've already filmed and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't blend that at all. That was there the whole time. And I definitely know that, you know, in the footage, everybody's going to be distracted by it, which sucks. It's like you forget to blend something and there's no changing it. It's all on video. So anyway, I like it. It's chill. That's travertine. I like a contour that makes contour more approachable for people. And that's definitely something that's very approachable because it's just not laying a ton of product down all at once. Ooh, my TMJ is like clicking in my head. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so the reason I'm gonna use both of these bronzers is because I bought them at the same time and I can't decide which one I like better. And they're very different in shade from each other. So the Makeup by Mario Fair is the shade that came out in the liquid bronzer that is, it's around here. You've seen seen it enough. And he just kind of rounded out the cream version of it with that very, very fair shade, which I love. These are a phenomenal value, 10.5 grams of product. This is definitely something that is gonna be good for like an artist's kit or something. This is the LYS, which is always a great value. They have fantastic prices on all of their stuff. And this one is great news for egg lovers. Great news for my green folks. Look at that. Actually, y'all, and this is why we play the game, I went to Sephora over the weekend in DC and had 2 olive toned people with me. Nicolette Panisi, who has warm olive skin, it turned to orange on her. And Steph, who has more of what I would say like is an olive undertone, but her overtone changes so drastically within the seasons and she's very tan right now. It worked beautifully on her, except it was too light because it is the lightest shade. The alchemy of olive tones is so hard to predict. Try to find this in store. In the US, you can return it if it doesn't work out for you, but it does work with an olive undertone, but not every olive undertone. It might still be too orange for some people. I can't wear an olive foundation, but I can get away with this bronzer. It actually looks pretty awesome. So I'm gonna do both, especially since this one's rosy, which is another thing that a pale olive can get away with. But you never know, you never know. A pale olive, who knows? If you're olive enough and translucent enough, that could turn orange on you. I don't know, you know. Olive undertones are like alchemy. They're really wild. So anyway, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna blend them together. I really like both of these formulas. It's more about the color to me because they're great value. They're both really creamy and pigmented. And I love both of these brands, honestly. I just really like the way that these formulas work. So green, pink, will probably end up being neutral. I don't know. I just started using them together because I bought them together. We should probably use the Patrick Ta highlighter today too. I haven't actually, maybe once, actually combined them, but I think it was on Patreon. I haven't done it like on main yet, so let's do that. So you can see that green really works on me. We're getting something really natural looking. I don't really know why it works. I mean, I guess I do, and that is because my skin has a good bit of yellow in it. I think it might also be because there's so much green in the other features of my face, the other kind of like higher contrast portions of my face. My hair and my eyebrows and everything have a lot of green in them. I mean, I am technically like a lot Italian, but I did not get like the olive undertone that like my sister got or that like my dad had, you know, but I can pretend sometimes. All right, we're looking very tan in a believable way. I don't feel like my face is like a different color than my body. So now that we've done that, we can actually start putting the blush on, which is going to be interesting because we did end up quite tan, which is quite warm, but we're gonna go purple. It's gonna be fine. I think the main one that I want to use is this baby pink, which I know I said it's purple because it is. Baby pink who? That's lavender. Anyway, we're gonna put that one on first and see what the heck happens. We're gonna go with one of those, yeah, one of these guys, like a little fluffy brush moment. It's from Angie's Singe Beauty. This is the F06. These are really nice for diffusing a color you're not sure about, you know, instead of placing it down in like one big unblendable swath. Okay, this is a serum, which means that it's gonna go on, as I'm finding out, quite sheer. So pretty. Oh my God, that's pretty. This is like an olive undertone dream today. Everything that I'm using is very olive undertone friendly. It was not intentional, but I'm glad that that's how it's working out. When you get a bunch of beauty creators together in Sephora, we all just influence each other and spend tons of money. I need to show y'all everything that I was literally influenced to buy while I was there. But Nicolette, that was like an instant add to cart. She used mine because we were staying in a hotel together, and like as soon as we got to Sephora, she was like, that purple blush, that is part of my life now. So it confirmed is like gorgeous on olive skin. Ah, and that pulls the blue from my lips. Come on, especially because I didn't put any concealer underneath my eyes, and so sure, you could argue that that's maybe drawing attention to something a little bit unflattering by most people's standards, but what it's also doing is making my eyes look like they don't need makeup on them, which is just one fewer step if I choose to leave that off. It's like kind of nice. I could put this on, it looks native enough to the other kind of purples in my skin that it's like, you'd believe that that was me from afar, you know, if you weren't examining me up close. And it just looks like I'm very pleasantly not wearing makeup, which is great.
I know I keep popping in here. But it's like I'm having so many thoughts watching this. Like, I'm looking at that editing right now. I would have stopped right there. Like, if I wasn't testing makeup, I just want y'all to know, I love the way that that looks so much that if it weren't for entertainment purposes or trying to test as many things as possible to demonstrate them, like that, it just looks so natural. Anyway.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm disappointed only with the outside packaging because it just feels a little bit, like I said, drugstore, but once you open it and you get that, it's not metal, it's not, but it looks like it is. I don't know. This adds something new and different, and there's just something kind of cool and precise about it. I don't know. I like it. I like it when I open it, but I feel like there's just so much more they could have done with that packaging to make it feel more luxurious. Even just a different color wouldn't cost more, you know? Loving how this is looking. What else do we have in our bag here? Oh, do y'all wanna do eyeshadow? I think we should do eyeshadow. Just for the hell of it, because I feel like that color story does go nicely with what we have going on. And that doesn't mean that I necessarily need to do something buck wild. I'm just going to demonstrate how the coolness of this counterbalances the warmth of these in a really nice user-friendly way. I think that that's probably the most useful thing to do here. So again, this is the Desert Road Quint from Byredo. I think that this formula is different, or these formulas from the Quints are different than the ones in the big palettes. I feel like the ones in the big palettes, they're creamy, but they're like lower pigment. I feel like these are a little bit more unctuous in a lot of cases. Although I have Corporate Colors and Disco. Those are really, really richly pigmented. This one does feel a little bit like, I don't know, slower building in a good way. So I'm just going in with that like orangey iridescent shade. It's having a little trouble picking up on the brush, and that's probably because it's so creamy. I was expecting it to kind of dust up a little bit more than it is, but I'm just gonna use it to kind of cast a haze here. Since it has that shimmer to it, it's gonna spread really nice and evenly and not be super opaque. And then I will build a little bit of opacity with this one that is, yeah, still a warm orange, but it's also got more brown to it just because it's like matte, you know, and I desaturated a little bit with gray. So I'll work that kind of out here. I guess I want to keep it really light. I mean, anybody could take, not anybody, but like, I don't want to be like, oh, pick me, I'm different. But like, I feel like the invitation with this would be to like do a gradient of all of them across my eye. And that's just like not how I have been wearing eye makeup in my regular life. I love wearing eyeshadow, I do, because I like using shadow and light, but I just sometimes want it to be as little as possible to get the effect. So blend that up, blend it up, blend it up, blend it up. I'm gonna take the kind of pearly shade here and use that right on my lid and up here. I guess I like that. Huh, not sure how I feel. Not sure how I feel about that. I feel like I kind of want a little bit more of the like shimmery orange on my lid, just because I feel like that pearly shade on the lid specifically, it's almost a little bit cool, which you wouldn't think looking at it. It's kind of creamy looking, like, you know what I mean? It looks like it has a little bit more warmth to it. And so it's accentuating the lavender on my eyelids. That is making it look a little distorted because you're used to seeing your lids kind of coming towards you. Maybe I should use the pink because I kind of want to bring it together here. So I'll put a little bit of the pink on. Okay, yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. That's pretty. All right, and then I'm gonna take the gray that's in here, which is the main reason that I bought it, honestly, is I'm just very interested in the idea of having something like this that I really feel like is not meant to stand alone. It's meant specifically to be layered over the other shades so that you can create shadow in a believable way. And it's like, God, I mean, what a color that like already exists in my skin. It's like that muted gray lavender. I'm sorry, I watch myself in my monitor to make sure you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry I'm not like making eye contact the whole time. That's the only thing that I can do on camera that I can't see what I'm doing, is to look straight at you. That's actually really lovely. I feel like once you combine them all, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm so pale and so low contrast that it hardly takes any eyeshadow to make me look like I'm wearing eyeshadow. I could put on a color that looks virtually white and it would still show up on me. Now I would just step off and do my eyeliner and everything, but I want to talk brows first because y'all have been asking me a lot about these and I keep forgetting to come on camera and use them because I've been using them so much in my regular routine downstairs in my bathroom. And so I just like, I'm like, mine. They just seem so like sacred to my own personal routine. All that to say, I love these. These are the new gels from Victoria Beckham. I have the clear one and light brunette. I'm actually just gonna start with light brunette, go in with the clear, and then maybe fill in with a pencil as needed, I think. But this applicator, so awesome. It's long enough that the product doesn't touch your skin, which is so nice. Like someone really thought about that. I think they're all designed to do that, but they tend to pick up more product on the like, I don't know, the little nylon guys. Like it just tends to kind of clump up between them a little bit more. And so by the time you get it on your brows, you also really risk getting it too close to your skin and then you end up with like a splotch. Look at that, look at the definition, but there's no actual product on my skin. It's only on my eyebrows. Plus, what a great color for me. It's like an enhancing kind of translucent gray brown instead of being something that is really solid, that's like, you know, adding a ton of pigment. And it's always to each their own, but I love something that's gonna look really natural. Oh boy, yep, that's my Chanel brow. She just always behaves. This one's got complaints. She's got all sorts of grievances. She's got a whole life story. And this one is just like, I was born rich. Everything has always come easily to me. I'm low maintenance. I know my place. And it is at the top of the heap. Oh God. The socioeconomics of my eyebrows. No one needed to know that, Kackie. So, let that chill there for a second. I don't know if I'm gonna need to go in with the pencil. I'll swatch it for you. I just don't really want it to end up looking like too much. Like I said, the pencil has existed for a while. This just happens to be a new one. Like, they sent me a new one. Lovely though. Finally, I didn't have this color before. I think I had brown and medium brown, and this being light brown, what did they say, light brunette? Look, it's green. It's green like my hair. It's green like my actual hair that's on my face. It's like actually a really nice greeny khaki color, as it were. So, yeah, my brows are already pretty darn defined. I don't think that I need actual pencil today, but it is a lovely pencil. And the outside, I want to say the outside is like a plastic coated metal. You can almost feel that it's cold and it's a little heavier than regular plastic. I don't know. It just feels a little bit more luxurious. All of her stuff is so considered. Like you would never end up with a little like, you know, something like this from Victoria Beckham. Okay, I'm gonna do eyeliner and mascara. We'll come back and we'll put some clear brow gel on. I want to just kind of finish some stuff out. We'll talk about lips. I have so many. We might put more blush on. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Like I said, you know as much as I do. Wait, something I have found. This makes a fantastic, super subtle eyeliner. That's what I'm gonna use it for. Y'all, look at how that brow pencil works as an eyeliner. I used to do that with the liquid brow from Glossier. I don't think that they make it anymore, but it was like an eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner, but super sheer. I used to love using that as a cat eye, but it was like great for low contrast girlies. I just didn't know how to talk about it at the time. I was just like, this just works great. So the fact that it is that, you know, much closer to my natural hair color kind of shade, like it's still there, but A, I didn't have to buy another product, and B, it's just so much less severe than, you know, something that's like black or dark brown. It's just good to have options. It's not like one's right or wrong. The highlighter from Patrick Ta. Let's do that. So this is the Patrick Ta in Daddy. I never get tired of saying that. And I'm going to use this, I guess, as intended here. I'm gonna use what looks like a beige. I'm telling you, it is not. It is quite kind of like an iridescent pinky shifting color, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna use a little of it on my eye. Why not? You know, brow bone, all that nonsense. It's very pretty. I'm glad I got this shade because it's not super noticeable, but very much as I suspected, I feel like this being Patrick Ta's thing in his blush format, I feel like they put it out in the duo for the highlighter because they knew it would be eye-catching and recognizable as Patrick Ta, but I think that was kind of as far as they thought about it, because I don't think that it's really necessary that this also has a cream highlight in it, although it does kind of remind me a little bit of the Baume Essentiel because it's like so balmy compared to the blush, which is like you can really touch the blush and it has body to it. You don't feel like you could like mash your finger all the way through it, whereas the highlighter gel is like straight up like liquid. It's so thin. So you can see, like you can actually build this up with a lot of shine, whereas the blush cream, it's just a lot more low profile. All that to say, I'm not gonna put it on yet. I wanna decide whether we wanna put more blush on, and I don't know if it is more of the same or if we wanna go for the plum. I feel like we mixed lilac and coral today, so I feel like we have to mix lilac and coral. And I'm glad that y'all got to see the lilac, the purple, because we're gonna use just a little bit of coral and see what happens. There are no rules. So I'm going with the ABH Peach here. That is way too much. That is way too much. Okay, that's better. And just sort of filling in. Somebody actually asked me, I think I'm gonna do an entire video on filling in the hollowness of a color, kind of building in the midtones. I'm not really sure exactly how to like title it. See, that's lovely, because it really just kind of mixed them together, but you're still getting a visible lilac and you're still getting a visible coral, but they just sort of sheerly mixed together. That's so nice. And I feel like it mirrors the eye look because the eye look is like both warm and cool at the same time. I'm gonna go ahead and do the cream highlight here. It's like really scary. I'm like very afraid that I'm going to screw everything up by putting that on. I'm actually gonna do it underneath my eyes a little bit like I would with the Baume Essentiel, because there's not really anything under my eyes other than any kind of remnants that have accidentally gotten there. The Baume Essentiel, when I'm referring to that, sorry if you're new here, the Baume Essentiel is a Chanel product that I absolutely love. And it very much behaves like this, except I feel like it's one of the most elegant formulas I've ever used. And so to compare it to that, big shoes to fill. It's also a $50 stick of makeup, you know? That's nice, made it look like skin again, and I think especially with the combination of not having anything under my eyes, it works really well. So I have the clear brow gel here. I promise we're going to put something on my lips here in a minute. So this does have a nice amount of freeze to it. I wouldn't say that it's like super, super laminating. You could probably get that out of it, but it's interesting because it doesn't feel like there's very much product going on at all. And then when it dries, you're like, oh, like that's pleasantly held there without feeling like it's gummy. I like the Kulfi because it's restylable, this one, but like this one isn't, and I like it too. It completely styles them and freezes them there, but it's not flaking off when I do this. So I think that it is a very pretty and sophisticated formula. All right, I think that we have like little enough makeup on my face that I can get away with pretty much anything on my lips right now, especially after showing y'all that how to find your best red lip video. I have become so drunk with power on pigmented lip colors. I'm just like, wait, if I, you know, back off of everything else on my face and start to look at things through the lens of like, it's gonna come off a lot higher contrast than I think. So I can go with kind of muted shades and they're still going to be really powerful. As long as I stay away from the ones that are super, super, super vivid, like the world opens up to me. Like this gigantic drawer of lip products over here, I'm like ready to go back through it and explore like what turns red on me. But like I was mad because I was like, it's too much, but it's like if I think of it as a red lip, it's gonna change my life kind of thing. By the way, oh my God, one of my viewers today sent me this amazing like matrix of photos of her where basically she used my video on how to find your best red lip, and then she went to her collection and swatched a bunch of stuff, and she sent me so many photos of her clearly having a great time, like enjoying the discovery of it, and just every single photo was like a different slightly nuanced shade of something that turned a beautiful flattering shade of like red on her lips. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. I get goosebumps when I saw it, and I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, because it's like that's the kind of, oh my God, that's my ASMR. You know what I mean? That's the thing that just like, it just sends chills down my, because it's like, I love when a message resonates and when it helps somebody broaden their idea of what they're able to use and feel beautiful in. It's just like the best, the best, the best, the best. Makeup is seen as so like vapid, but it's not. It's not, you know? I'm not saying I like, you know, saved her or something. Like, no, she's just like, it's just more cool ways of like understanding what you already have. It also makes me think differently about Violette's products and about the one that I got from Le Fille Rouge in BB. I don't think this is the one for today. And then there's the French girl thing where they do this. They just like feather it out. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But I feel like we could do even more, you know? You know what I think I wanna do? I wanna use this, but there's something really fascinating that could also be a really cool demonstration for color theory, and that is that this Sweed lipstick thing that they sent me, it's called Le Lipstick in the shade Celine. Look at this freaking color, y'all. It is truly the color of my lips, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use it to sort of saturate my natural lip color and then put that on so that it's not quite so see-through. And that my lips, this is super nourishing. My lips will be a little more nourished. See? And it'll give them a little more definition so that when I do feather the color out, it's not gonna look so high contrast against my skin. It's not gonna look quite as messy, although that's beautiful, isn't it? Is that not beautiful? I don't think there's a scent or anything. This is really gorgeous. And the other one is like this incredible coral. This is the one from Lydia Millen, but like it's also very sheer. So pretty. A little much for this look today. So yeah, this is kind of a game changer. Look at that. Changes the formula ever so slightly to make it creamier, and it changes the opacity so that it just looks a little more present and intentional. Because like I said, I've been doing some treatments on my lips and stuff, so like this skin area right around my lips is just really vague at the moment. It's not really giving like definition. And so I wanna make sure that we don't try and exaggerate that too much. Like, what was I talking about? What was I talking about that this doesn't work? It's about doing the makeup around it in a way that makes it work. That's just beautiful. And I feel beautiful. Now, I mean, if it were me on a regular day, I probably would have even left the eyeshadow palette off, you know? Because it's not really that necessary, but I also wanted to show y'all how it worked. So we're gonna jump into final thoughts, but I wanted to, honestly, for my own amusement, swatch the ABH in this funny baby pink against the new House Labs in Glassy Lilac. Yeah. I just need to know. It's so funny that they call it baby pink. I mean, there is no pink happening there. That is lavender. I love it. Y'all saw it go on. I'm kind of giving away my feelings here, but good grief. Yep. Okay, so it's gonna be a really great example of, that's a warmer purple. There is more red and even a little more yellow in that purple than there is on that one. This is like almost just like a pure blue, red, white combination. Like, it's so lavender, it's so wild that they call it baby pink. And it might just be because by the time it blends out on skin of any kind, because everybody's got yellow in their skin of some, you know, some amount, that it does look a little bit more pink. But like, let's be real, when you squeeze that out of the tube, it is lavender. And I think it's phenomenal. I'm so excited to have colors that are that extreme and unique to be able to work with, that are unique to my collection, because my collection is vast. It's just not often I run across a color that's new, that someone had the guts to put a blush in that color. So, I mean, you can tell I'm overall pretty impressed here, but I will go into detail product by product on final thoughts here. I can't stop using this. The Charlotte Tilbury, again, Charlotte shocks me in a good way. I'm always just like, oh, Charlotte, it's so easy to be so cynical about you and your slightly overpriced products, and, you know, from one big personality to another, like, you did it again, Charlotte. I wouldn't say that it's like as absolutely like game-changing as the Matte Beauty Blush one, but that's because it's like up here to me in terms of remarkability and like perfection of a product. This is still really, really excellent. Like, do you need it? Not necessarily, but I really like it. And I feel like, especially because I took that like 2-hour break in the middle of filming this video, and it got a chance to like settle on my skin for a while as I was just like living my life. It looked beautiful the way that it settled, and like there was no powder or anything. It's just a really lovely, sophisticated product that's really flattering. And I love that it comes in like a gazillion shades, because everybody can find their like flattering color in it. Even if you are really, really, really stinking pale, okay? Like that's so pale. We've talked about the contour stylus from Victoria Beckham before, and I will say I like it. I like the color, and I think that for a look like this, it makes a lot of sense because it's just very hard to get totally carried away with it. So it's more about whether that is an easier way to use something. I don't feel like if you are happy with the contour that you already have, that you need to like challenge yourself to like try a new delivery system. It's only like if you find yourself using your cream contour and going, why is this so chunky and lays down so much product all at once? Like maybe a smaller stylus would be easier. As much as this packaging, I mean, underwhelm is a nice word for how I feel about this packaging when it's closed. It really is giving Maybelline. Like I wish that this did anything else, just anything other than this. All that to say, the product inside this vessel is incredible and the colors are awesome. At least this one. This is like the most unique shade in a blush that I have found in a long time because not only can I wear it, I think that people who are cool toned can get away with it without it looking like, you know, pale cool tone. I also think that this is super olive skin friendly. Super olive skin friendly. You're gonna get something incredibly beautiful that might actually still look purple on you. Most of the time we recommend, the royal we, the YouTubers, recommend that olive undertoned folks use a purple leaning blush in order to achieve pink, because on olive skin things tend to go orange, which is fine unless that's not what you wanted. And so it's like if you want to stay away from things going too yellow, head in the direction of purple kind of thing. But I would say that like there are still people, especially olive undertone people, who want to wear a blush that ends up purple, not just put purple on so that it turns pink. And like you're gonna end up with an actual lilac purple with this, which is awesome. I know that the plum, we didn't use it, and it's definitely giving like more of a Fjords cheek. It's got a little more complexity to it, a lot more red in it, but still, my God, what a beautiful cool toned plum that has the guts to go a little more blue than a lot of other plummy winey colors that I think is gonna be, again, really, really flattering on like deeper olive skin tones. So thank you to ABH for doing that. It's just cool. It's cool when I'm trying new things to be able to offer something unique. These excite me. I don't know how to even speak of the highlighter, to be honest. It's fine. I do feel like it's kind of unnecessarily over-fussed for a highlighter. Like we could have done something more interesting with highlighters than this, but okay, Patrick Ta. You know, I just feel like he has always put out product where you feel like you're buying the experience of a makeup artist. I don't mean like you're experiencing it. I mean like there's like built into the formula is the fact that like this person has worked in makeup for so long, like Danessa Myricks, you know, or like Wayne Goss. Like when you're using their formulas, you're like, oh, I feel this, or like, you know, Makeup by Mario, and I understand why you did what you did and why it's different from something else, because it's the way that you do makeup and it makes it easier for me to do that. It makes me think differently about makeup. This is the first thing from him where I'm kind of like, doesn't really feel like there's a lot of genius built in here. It feels like instead of it going from his brain to the product, it went from one product to this product, you know, and they said, well, we have a blush, maybe we should do a highlighter kind of thing, instead of, gosh, I'd really like to innovate on highlighters, and it coming down like that. Does it make sense? So yeah, it just feels sort of unnecessary. I'm not mad that I have it, but I probably like won't ever think about it again. Oops. The Byredo palette, you know, I just like Byredo because it's an innovative luxury brand. Is it possible to get something, you know, really, really unctuous out of this particular palette? I don't really know. Like that's a big, big, big fat swatch of those. I think this one is meant to be more subtle, which is kind of nice because it's weird. The colors are weird. And that's what I always want from Byredo, is something different. But also, I like that corporate colors in disco are like kind of whoa when you put them on the skin, and these are just a little bit more of like a typical luxury formula. Still with a Byredo twist, but I like that they're different. If I'm gonna own 3 of them, I'd like them to be different from each other. So, I mean, do you need this? Not necessarily, but I think that it's a fun luxury moment, especially if what you're looking for is something a little bit different. The brow products from Victoria Beckham are fantastic. I find no complaints with them. The only thing maybe is like if you have really stubborn eyebrows, this isn't gonna give you so brow status, like it's not that much control, but for someone like me who I just kind of want them to be like enhanced and stay in place, absolutely gorgeous. And I think that the big advantage here is that applicator, it's like almost impossible to get that to like actually touch your skin. There are other things that are like that. Ilia is kind of like that, but I like these colors better. I like this formula better. So plus, I mean, you know, she never misses on the packaging. And on the lip, isn't it hilarious that I ended up circling back on myself? I think that one of the best things about being a beautuber is that it's an ongoing conversation. It is not something where I am claiming to be some kind of like expert who's finished learning. I'm learning about my own face and the way that color theory applies to that all the time. And when I started shifting my mindset again around like what actually looks red on me, combine that with the other stuff that I always think about, which is like opacity and saturation and stuff, and being able to combine this as just like a really nice base that's literally my lip color with something that I really felt like was too severe for me and also maybe a little too matte, and get something really comfortable and wearable and kind of red, honestly, which is hilarious because that ain't red. That ain't red, friends. That's kind of a mauvey brown. But if you watched my lipstick video, you know that that's my red. So here we are. That's from Le Fille en Rouge. And I'm actually really glad that I have it. Go freaking figure. Go freaking figure. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Just a nice little chill punctuation between kind of the super information heavy stuff, and we are still Kackie reviewing beauty at the end of the day, hopefully. So I wanted to make sure that we are staying up to date on some of the cool stuff that I've been collecting lately, because makeup excites me so much all the time. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, if you're new and you did just recently subscribe, hi. Hello, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. We are so happy to have you. And every person who comments in good faith is always richening the community and richening the conversation. I really appreciate y'all. So if you have not yet subscribed, you are joining a really, really lovely community here on the internet. We love to just talk about makeup and color theory, and we love to learn together. It's very unpretentious. Sometimes it's a little bit Aries energy, you know, shoot first, ask questions later, but that's what we're doing. That's just what we're doing. That's who I am. And that's kind of the vibe here. We're a very flexible, forgiving bunch. So anyway, if that sounds good to you, then subscribe while you're here, and I will put a video up here that I think you'll enjoy if you liked this one. I love y'all so immensely much. I'm going to go get a poke bowl and I'm going to inhale it. And I love y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.